Hello and welcome to another Brett Plays video. We're going to continue our weekly fly out from Hobart to Heathrow. This time we're going to take a new skin. Got this one, I think it's actually based on a video game. Which the name eludes me, I'll put it in the description. Thought it looked pretty cool. So we're taking off from obviously the Sunshine Coast. So YBSU. Oh, look at the hand on the top. That's pretty cool. Alright. We do have a few other people here. Very good. Let's have a quick look at the skin. Livery. I can't remember the name of the video game. I should have looked it up before I did. I'm sure people will be commenting below going, oh, that's such and such. That's that one where the shadows are dead and they'll catch you if they get movement or something like that. Haven't played it myself. Got a few people, probably closer to Brisbane Airport today. I think we got permission to take off. Yep, clear takeoff runway 18, thank you. Let's just actually stay inside. And do we have our flaps down? No, but we might just use it on one. Put that in, thank you. Just release that park brake. Just use it off full throttle. Watch where I'm going. Now, I think we're departing south. Yes, we are. So we will have to turn around, and we're going to fly up to Great Keppel Island this time. It's my speed 80 knots, must be ready for rotate. Thank you. Now, I have a feeling.
Tasmania Tango Alpha 72, continue. For north departure, I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
I was streaming and playing the other day. I might have to change my graphics back to photogrammetry. I'll show you how that's done. So let's do that quickly. If you get in here and Microsoft automatically turns off your data because your internet's too slow, yes, there we go. So put it back on. Apply, back, resume. Now, is it looking any better? Might have to stream in first. Let's climb a little. I don't think it's done this area, but it should actually work on the way up coast. So as I said, we're going to go to Great Keppel today. I thought, why not? I thought about going to Rockhampton, but Great Keppel seems like a pretty cool place to go. How are we going for our flight path? Oh, we're making our way over to it. You can see our purple line's a little off. And I think we'll sit around the 5,000 feet again, since we seem to see quite well down below. Should put my autopilot on. Now I've got a button for navigate. It's one of these. Nope, can't remember. Alright. Let's turn our navigation on, so that automatically should pop me over. For some reason I had my aileron adjusted quite low there. Trim, sorry.
Tango Alpha 72, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Okay, thank you. Much better when you have the
frequency change.
Satellite data on here. You can see it loading in as I come around. Interesting livery on here. Wow, look down below, you can see an old strip. You can see where I took off is generic. and it's loading in obviously the golf course and some of the other stuff. Well, that'll give you a good idea of what the difference is. But it seems that Microsoft Flight Sim will automatically turn off your data rather than get all laggy. It goes, your data is too low, and it will turn it off. For my sake, I was streaming a video at the same time as flying. I was testing some of my mod aircraft at the time. So some of this stuff's just popping in. Alright. So let's get ourselves up to about 5,000, and then I'll pop in the altitude. Maybe I should put those flaps up and get a little more speed going. Oh, trim, come on. Because I had autopilot on. And it was set different with the flaps on. Alright. Let's reactivate that. Thank you. Over Noosa. Very nice. Okay, you can see the satellite data in there now. It's looking a lot better. Okay, let's stick to 5,000, thank you. Should be able to bring this back a bit. We should tune in. C-class airspace, thank you. Actually, that probably would be further south, wouldn't it?
Going to 125.0 generic Papa Victor Whiskey.
Getting quicker than I can say anything.
Brisbane Center, Tasmania Tango Alpha 72 is type Cessna Caravan, 4 miles southwest of Yankee November Sierra Hotel, 5,000 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Cessna Tango Alpha 72 Brisbane Center. Squawk 0016.
Squawk 0016.
Squawk 0016, Tasmania Tango Alpha 72.
Tango Alpha 72 radar contact 3 miles southwest of Yankee November Sierra Hotel, 5,000 feet. Cleared through the Charlie airspace.
Thank you.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace, Tasmania Tango Alpha 72.
Alright, let's get our VFR on. Pop that out for a moment. Alright. Another beautiful day for a flight. A bit Noosa. It's quite nice down there. So I'd say that a lot of those players back there are over Brisbane, since we did only just pass Brisbane in the last flight on our way to the Sunshine Coast. A few thicker clouds up ahead. What are they sitting at? Probably looking like they're sitting at 5,000. Do we have air? 40.
Tango Alpha 72 contact Brisbane Center on LNE 25.0.
O-N-E. They're having trouble saying 1.
125.0 for Tasmania Tango Alpha 72.
I better do what we're
Tasmania
told to do
Tango
here.
Alpha 72 5,000 feet.
Desir Tango Alpha 72 Brisbane Center continuous planned. Altimeter 29.92.
Yep, I already got that, thank you. Does Noosa have a weather? No, just traffic, okay. Yep, HOTAS there. We should have checked it before I left.
Yankee Bravo Sierra
There we go,
Uniform
thank you.
Airport Information Golf 0100 Zulu. Wind 259er at 7. Visibility 7. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,000 feet. Temperature 15. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29.92. Visual runway 18 in use. Landing and departing runway 18. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have golf.
Yep, very good.
Yankee Bravo Sierra Uniform Airport Information Hotel
Okay, now I can put that
0100
back off.
Wind 259er at 7. Visibility 7.
Thanks. We'll sit on the Brisbane contact there. Now, still don't know the name of that skin. When I do, put it in the description. So it is a video game. It's well done though. It's like packaging underneath and taped up. And a chrome look. Anyway, I've downloaded a whole bunch of new liveries for the Caravan, so I'm going to continue changing it for each flight, just because it gives some variety, and looks a little better than the generic.
Level 3, 20 descending 10,000 feet.
Jetstar 966 Brisbane Center continuous planned.
Okay, so I don't know the name of it. You did see the config file came up. Doesn't even have the name in there. When I find the website that says what the livery is, I will put it in the description, because I don't think anybody else will be able to see it when flying this. Now, I seem to have a flight out next to me. Are they up high? Yes, there they are. You can see that on my VFR, but far enough away that their name tag is not showing up, unless it is a generic, which is quite possible. Seems to be a few flights around. Now I have invited a few people on. What am I getting here? My Xbox controller failed there. Didn't like it. Okay. Have invited a few people on Discord that they can actually fly with me if they want to. Told them where I'm going. It's going to be a weekly thing. Discord's only just set up in the last month or so, but we're only new, but getting it going.
124.6 for generic Papa Victor.
And I guess the best thing to do is to get as many people in this involved in this as possible, because hey, flight sim is awesome, especially when you have multiple people. That thing's getting away from me up there. What are we doing? 164 knots. 176 to the ground.
Jetstar 9066, contact Brisbane Centre on ONE 24.6.
We've got a lot of traffic noise, haven't we? If you've got a suggestion where I should go after Great Keppel, again, trying to make my way obviously to London. It's going to be a whole bunch of steps. It's going to probably take an entire year, 1 hour of time. I may end up having to do a few longer flights, and that's when I'll go back to the fast forward. It does take a lot longer in the editing, but sometimes it's worth it. So I believe we have Fraser Island off to the far right there, so up around here. Very nice holiday place. Catch a ferry over with your four-wheel drive. You have to take four-wheel drive, I believe, or you could walk, or I don't know if you can cycle, but it's all beach. People drive and camp. Seems to be quite nice. Never been there myself. Never got the opportunity to. People back at Brisbane. I need to learn how to make my own liveries. I'd like a Tas Air one. Not sure how to do it yet, or at least I don't have potential software, but we'll have a look at that. Maybe by the time we get to the UK I'll have my own livery. Maybe it's something like a Tassie Devil and Tassie Tiger and things that are generic to or renowned to Tasmania, but not the Looney Tunes Tassie Devil. No, sorry, it's wrong. It would be nice to get passengers in here. The seats, pilot, but a bunch of passengers would be nice. If you actually see them from outside here, especially if you load up. And a male pilot, female co-pilot. That's why sometimes you hear the co-pilot talk. If I've got her instructed to take the. Look at this model though. I mean, look at the detail on these things, and even the paint job's awesome. It's a low sheen on the colour, but it's a real high gloss on the base. And it just textures so well. Void if tampered. Good job.
Just air change. Alpha
resource.
72, you're leaving my airspace. Radar service terminated. Squawk 7000.
I am, thank
Frequency
you.
change approved.
Awesome.
Squawk 7000. Frequency change approved. Tasmania Tango Alpha 72.
Alright, cool. Do we request flight following? I think so. Probably.
Brisbane Center Tasmania Tango Alpha 72 is
Now
type
heading
Cessna
away from
Caravan
Brisbane, but I guess
14 miles
Brisbane
west of
Centre
Yankee Charlie
controls all the
X-ray
way up
Alpha.
here.
Request flight following.
Sincere Tango Alpha, 72 Brisbane Center. Squawk 4346.
4346. Come on. Oh. I clicked the VFR, did I? Thank you.
Squawk 4346 Tasmania Tango Alpha 72.
Now it looks like I got somebody flying
Sincere Tango Alpha, 72
my
radar
right.
contact 15 miles northwest of Yankee Charlie X-ray Alpha 5,000 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
out over Fraser Island at the moment, which is pretty cool. Can't see them though.
Copy Tasmania
Not
Tango
sure, I
Alpha
think they're
72.
quite low. Doing about the same speed as me. Can't see the one ahead. They've got a fair way up there now. Interesting cloud formations. This is live weather. For all of these flights I will, and I have said in my previous videos, we'll be flying live weather. Australia's a big country. The amount of flying you've got to do to get from one side to the other. At least unlike the last episode, there's no thunderstorm following me.
Sierra Kilo, Tango Romeo, you are 68 miles north. Climb and maintain 2,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 18 approach.
It'd be nice if they had more than just generic. Like I've seen some that actually come out in some of my videos, like United Air or
Climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors, visual runway 18 approach. Generic Kilo,
Q-Link.
Tango Romeo.
Qantas Link, which is usually the smaller planes that Qantas runs. If you do watch this series and you haven't already, come join me on Discord. I've got a bunch of in the works planes that I have been able to port over to Flight Sim 2020 and get working, and some of them are things like the ATR. I think I've got a 200 and a 500, which is a twin prop. Some of those are actually used by Qantas Link and or Virgin Australia airlines, so be good to look at. Give them a go. I will have a video up on those soon too, but like I said, I'm going to do my weekly fly up. Now let's have a quick look at the... Alright, so we're going to go via Bundaberg Airport. So we're doing a direct run to Bundaberg from Sunshine Coast. We've got YB, somebody's taking off. That might have been the generic. I do have someone shadowing me over to the right there, according to the what? Let's put it back in. I just went full screen, that's not what I wanted. VFR. Just so you can see what I'm talking about. Got a few other planes flying around. We're going to make our way up to Bunburg and then a slight left and on our way up to Great Keppel Island. I think it's called Great Keppel. It's just Keppel Island. Great Keppel rings a bell. We have had this one following us up here. The Brisbane centre's down there. Okay. That large island there is Fraser Island. Very nice. Back on a GPS. So, did we have someone just take off, or are they actually coming in over the top of us? I don't think you can run into people. I think what happens is, there they are, VHKTR, that's a generic flight. I don't think it's possible to actually run into people because collision mode is off. At least that's what it looks like on other videos I've seen. People can go through planes, and I've done that. When you go on the ground on the runway, somebody can potentially spawn on top of you, or they take off the same place, because when they press their button to fly, you may not have even been there, and all of a sudden, you know, you've got an A320 over the top of you in your little Cessna.
Generic Papa Victor Whiskey descend and maintain 2,100 feet.
Descend and maintain 2,100 feet. Generic Papa Victor Whiskey.
Generic Papa Victor Whiskey Airport is 10 miles at your 9 o'clock. Maintain present heading and altitude report runway in sight.
Papa Victor Whiskey would be this one that's been shadowing me, and I'd say they're coming into YHBA. Because at 9 o'clock, what was that? 10 miles?
Maintain present
That would be a
heading
10
and
mile.
altitude. Generic Papa Victor Whiskey.
Yep.
Generic Papa Victor Whiskey has the runway in sight.
So I'd say they're coming in here. Oh, very cool.
Generic Papa Victor Whiskey, you are 10 miles southeast of Yankee Hotel Bravo Alpha. Turn left heading
Bravo Alpha,
320.
yep. Well, there you go. I was correct. Do we still have our taxi lights? No, we don't.
Turn left heading 320. Generic Papa Victor Whiskey.
Now, what lights do I have on? Taxi lights, they're off. No, yeah, I did. Okay. I think I said that last time I turned them off when I was flying it, and they didn't come on when I went to take off. Okay. Maybe that's now working where it remembers where you're at last time. But admittedly, the different thing I have at the moment is I don't have my oil light flashing away, oil pressure light. I have no idea why it did last time. I didn't think I had. Things can go wrong as I'm flying. I kind of don't want that. I just want the adventure. Alright, what have we got here? Wing lights. Oh, wing ice light. Well, we're not cold enough. Maybe when we get to some areas, we may need those. It does look very nice. See when you turn your head there, a bit over here, shadow changes. It may be something to do with the graphics, or it's getting a reflection. I'd say it's getting a reflection. Looking forward to new aircraft that come out in the future. I don't think though some of them are worth the price they're asking for. And when I say that, I mean getting a different variant of a little Cessna might be fine if that's what you're learning in real life and you're willing to pay the $40-something, I think it's Australian, that they come out as. But if there's going to be a whole bunch of aircraft, they may find if they price them too high, they're not going to get a lot of them downloaded. So the Kit Fox that came out, I think it's a 13 Australian dollars, or $9.95 US, or $8.95 US, or something like that. Totally worth it. Okay, it's not an overly developed model because there's not a lot to it, and there would be a lot more work on a larger aircraft. I can understand that. But if you want to, this is only my opinion, if you want to get more people to download it, make it more affordable. I'm thinking anything over a 20 Australian dollar plane, so you know, $14.95 or $12.95 US per plane, you're potentially going to get hundreds of thousands of people to download it, rather than you price it $40, $50, $60 or even $100 plane. How many people are you going to get download? What's your total profit on that? And how many people are going to be using it? I think less. It's kind of like the dollar store. The dollar store might sell $1 million worth of product, where the upmarket store that sells things for hundreds of dollars might only make $100,000 worth of sales, because they get less of them. You get a lot of small sales and you're making small amounts of profit, but lots of it. So it's bulk. But back to my flight. I'm thinking Papa Victor Whiskey must be going around and coming in from the north, because he's on the wrong angle there. If you look up on the VFR, I'd say he's definitely going to be too far away to see him. And cloud. Seems to be parallel with the runway. Was he getting a coming in from the north? 320? No, he's heading 320. Yep, I'd say it's a what would that be? Not sure. What direction would the runway be from? Quite far up, coming in from the northwest. Runway 34. Maybe it is a runway 32. If you're looking at that angle. Now, I haven't seen too many aircraft with livery on top like that. I mean, it looks pretty cool. It makes me think when I do my own livery eventually, I may actually put it on top as well. Pacific Haven. Grass strip maybe? Doesn't seem to come up on the map there, because I haven't got the map zoomed in enough. There we go. VPAC. Keep it at that level, I think. Could this be the Pacific Highway heading up north? Very possibly. Makes sense. I personally haven't been up this part of the country since I was a child, and I was too young to remember it back then. I've been to the Gold Coast and Brisbane as an adult, but I've not been any further north. At least not in a plane. Big flat country up there. Would have been a little better maybe going up the coastline, I'm thinking. But making our way to Bundaberg, is that where they make the drink? Or what it's named after? I think they do make it there. Bundaberg ginger beer and or brewed drinks and or maybe even the Bundaberg rum. Welcome to Brett's Tour of Australia. Yeah, alright, let's have a quick look on what it has on Google. It's known for its Bundaberg rum. Bundaberg Distillery offers museum tours and tasting. Okay. Botanical Gardens is home to the Hinkler Hall of Aviation. Hey, way to go, guys. Dedicated to solo long-distance pilot Bert Hinkler. Nearby on the coast of Mons Repos Regional Park. I'm sure if I pronounced that right. Home to sea turtles. The offshore is Lady Elliot Island, part of the Great Barrier Reef. Oh, very good. We're going past a lot of the Great Barrier Reef. Don't know how much you'll see. Last time I've flown over it, it seemed to have the shadows of, you can tell there's a reef under there, but you don't get to see anything. This is flight sim, not sub sim. "13 nautical miles to our next waypoint." That would be to Hobart. Yes, it is. In 4 minutes. Okay, and then it'll automatically turn, because I am not going to be doing a landing there. I wonder if I can make this smaller. Yep, there we go. See more of the beauty of the flight sim. We lost all the players behind us? We have. Now what is it, 200 nautical miles? I think you will still be able to see other players. Now I'm on US Northwest, oh no, US West, sorry, server. Found it to be the least ping for my region. I don't think there is an Australian server for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Wow, a lot of farming up here. A lot of irrigation. headlands as well, because there's a nice, decent river coming in, I'm guessing. Out of the headlands there. Yeah. It is amazing how much of the planet is actually made up of farming. It's also amazing how much of it's not. As in, it's not built up with city, it's just not built up with anything. Now, is that a road or a railway line down there? It is the road. Bundaberg. We are going to fly right over Bundaberg Airport. Luckily nobody's coming out at the moment. Is that waterway channels down there? It is too. Okay. Irrigation. At first I thought they were roads, then I realised the roads are actually running over them. I'm sure a lot of work went into that. Heads out over this way. Bundaberg. Well, this will be my first visit. When I'm old enough to actually know what it is. When I say visit, I mean a wave from above. Do love the detail with the photogrammetry on. You can see where the dirt roads are and tracks. So much better than the old Sims. I'm guessing a little racetrack or go-kart track or something down there. The Bundaberg tip there by any chance? Quarry. Tip being a rubbish dump. Public rubbish dump for those who are not used to Australian vernacular. Quite amazing. Very flat though. Coming over the Great Dividing Range, which runs all the way from Victoria to just in the top of Melbourne, all the way up. I thought it actually made it to Queensland, but maybe not. I'd have to look that up. It gets quite flat up here. So what it is on the east coast of Australia, there's a large, well, relatively large mountain range that runs the entire east coast. It's like where the continent has been pushing up against whatever plate is there and has raised the land. So Sydney is on the east side of these mountains, and it's kind of like a bowl or a valley, and it has allowed the weather to capture and make it quite fertile. So a lot of the coastline is quite fertile. You get on the other side of those mountains and it's a lot drier, where the rain doesn't reach, or the weather is a little bit different, but it's also a lot flatter. That's most of the east coast of Australia. If you have a look at a topographical map of Australia, you'll notice it. And I grew up in Sydney for most of my life, and I remember the mountains and the hills and the likes. Now that I've moved to Tasmania in the last few years, there's mountains everywhere down in Tasmania. Although, right smack in the middle, there's a flat bit, which I didn't know, but until I got here. Things you find out when you move around, rather than living in the same place for the entire life. Got more of these channels down here. A lot of irrigation channels. A lot of work's been done to do that. That's probably why the farming's doing so well. You can't go irrigating salt water in there, so I'm wondering if they are getting it from the rivers and bringing it in, or do they desalinate it? That I don't know. It won't keep me up at night. Zoom in another level here. Okay, so we're making our way just around the edge of Rockhampton airspace. Okay, you can't get back into your cockpit view when you have your mouse over the VR map. Alright, what are we? 115 nautical miles? Yeah. 39 more minutes. Okay. A little bit longer flight, this one. I think my what was it, to the Sunshine Coast from Byron Bay was 57 minutes. This will be a 116, so there may be a little bit more. If you watch some of my other videos, you might see that the how to convert Flight Sim X video went up, and I was using the F14. I have found though that there are a few problems. Once you can get it in and it does work, sometimes you restart the game and then the throttle will loop over and it's not working. So we're trying to work out how to overcome that. It doesn't happen on all aircraft, it definitely happens on the F14. If you join my Discord, you'll see there's some conversation going on now how to overcome it. HOTAS, one of my subscribers, has been playing around with it and has found an older legacy importer to bring it in. Problem is you can't actually get a hold of that legacy importer anymore, which is a bit of a shame. I even went looking for it on Google and it's not available. So there is a new importer. We will fiddle around with that and we'll see what's happening. I might see if I can get in contact with the legacy importer creator, who has actually had contact with me already, and embed my how-to video on his Nexus mods. And what we might do is might see if he can work out what's going on there. It's worth a shot. Either way, the original aircraft such as this Caravan, which is an absolute beautiful model, works great, and with some new liveries and the likes, I'm quite happy with it. That's why I chose it. Also good for a long haul video series. maybe in the future, like we said, we might get some passengers in there. I know you can add the weight of the passengers and the luggage, but I'd like to be able to add them and then actually have people's faces sitting in there. That'd be nice. Some of my video may be sped up, especially the boring bits, if you're not interested in listening to me talk, or the video does go too long. But I am trying to show what it actually looks like. Can I zoom around? Yes, I can. Oh, that's better. Use the Xbox controller to look around. But you look at that. Nobody. Empty plane. I don't even have a co-pilot anymore. Now, I would like to see the body of a co-pilot and yourself. I would prefer to see that. I know, though, it might actually get in the way and you wouldn't be able to see, you know, your reset buttons down here or the likes, because your knee would be in the way. But you'd think, though, if you zoomed in there, the leg would go out of the way. I don't know if that's possible to be modelled. It's like when you play sim racing games and there's no hands on the steering wheel. Okay, you get to see where the steering wheel is going, but it doesn't feel right. Especially though when you get into VR, when you can't see the body in front of you, but you're making movement. That's a bit tough. Talking about racing games, I have put in some Project Cars 2 videos. These are races I had earlier in the year that I decided, you know what, I will showcase those, and they'll be Saturday videos, Saturday morning releases. I put one particular Bentley showcase on Le Mans up. It's only a 4-minute something video, just as a first sneak release. There will be some more, by the time this video comes out, there's already some on the other Saturday mornings coming out. So I record these on a Friday, around noon. I will put it on my Discord that I'm going out and where I'm flying to and from, and if you want to join me, you will have to add me on Flight Sim, so sure how we get to that without pressing escape and then pops up. I won't do that in the video at the moment because obviously that's going to be a bit harder. I have to actually add someone, their name will come up. But if you get me on Discord, I do have that on another screen and I'll watch it, currently muted. Feel free to say, hey, I want to join in. You know, you can actually join in the chat too, or if you just go, no, I just want to fly. I've got a flight plan. I am doing GPS point to point, and if we get into formation flying, you know, sit off the wing in your own plane, awesome. Sit right behind or above. I wonder what they would do for the ATC though. They might complain that there's watch out for traffic. Talk about ATC. It's 125, not ONE. Okay, but I know what you mean.
125.9er Tasmania Tango Alpha 72.
125.9er. They must control further
Brisbane
up.
Center, Tasmania Tango Alpha 725,000 feet.
Secure Tango Alpha 72 Brisbane Center. Continue as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
Thank you. I always think you can acknowledge that, but if you do, by pressing 1, you cancel your flight following. Okay, talking about joining me in a flight, I'm happy for that. I have done some multiplayer flying around already. I did that on someone's live stream. I have also been contacted by another YouTuber who wants to collaborate, and I'm very happy to do that. So if you want to do the same with me, feel free to hit me up on Discord, and I will give it a go. I'm actually no problem doing that. Obviously the time zone might be an issue. I'm in Australia, so I am at GMT plus 11 at the moment. It's normally 10, but its daylight saving has just started last week. So that's GMT time plus 11. So no real late flights for me, but if it's on a weekend, I may actually be flying up well past midnight, 1 AM. Probably going to have to stop at around 2 the latest, but I do need to sleep sometimes. So I'm going to cut across the inland here a little bit, because Australia coastline does jot out and then breaks up to the islands. Let's have a look back on here. As you can see, comes out. If we zoom as far as I can go out. Great Keppel, Rockhampton is here. That's why we get the airspace there. But I figure, you know what? Great Keppel Island. I can't imagine it's a very long strip, but it might look pretty nice. So we'll give that a go. There's a lot of bushland in Australia. Why we get so many bushfires? And it can dry out in certain places, although I don't think there's too many bushfires up this end of the country. Did notice though when I flew out, okay, we've got mountains up there. Did notice when I flew out of Melbourne though, the Bing satellite pictures did show that some of the ground was darker than the others in patches, and I noticed a lot of it was very similar to where there were bushfires a couple of years ago, which would make sense. So a lot of the area had been burnt out and would come up on a satellite picture as a darker patch, but there was a lot of it, obviously from the bushfires. People from Queensland might be able to say, oh yeah, we had bushfires up here at this time too, and you'll probably see it. Very likely. You'll see some different patches down there, but I think that's actually the ground. As in the dirt, not the trees. But it is amazing what can come over with satellite data, and I wonder if it's going to be updated, or how often it gets updated. Like people who have gone out and going, oh right, I want to see if my house is there, and the data potentially, or satellite pictures, is more than a couple of years old, and they'll be like, my house doesn't even exist because it's only built in the last year or so. You notice some of the ground change down there. What happened there? Heart failed to download. Because it was a patch a moment ago, and then when I got close it's changed. The whole square didn't come in. Oh well. Compared with how much does work, the small bits that don't work, hardly anything. One thing that Queensland has suffered over the last couple of years is some flooding. And looking at all the rivers and inlets and stuff that we have flown over north of Brisbane there, I can understand why. You get rain out further west and it follows the rivers out, well, it all gets bunched up into one place, and that's why you're getting the flooding. Now those tufts of white over there on the ground, that is not snow. There is no snow at this north of country, too warm. So I'm wondering if that's meant to be white sand, or this satellite picture saw white clouds and decided to put it on the ground. Could be a bit of one, could be a bit of the other. We're getting to a quite tropical area of Australia. The further north we go, the more we're going to get towards the equator. I don't think you're going to find snow up here. But you will find nice white sand. It's very nice. A lot of roads there, I just noticed. I think it's a national park. Some trails in now. Everybody seems to live on the, or nearly everybody seems to live on the southern side of that river there. I've noticed some tracks up here coming in. Out over the coast again. Now we are heading 313, 312. So not even north, so we are actually heading inland a bit. I guess the top of Australia does curve more to the northwest as the further as you go. It's not a directly north. So when I was travelling from, say, Melbourne to Sydney, doing a northeast, Sydney to, or even the Sunshine Coast, a lot of that was fairly much just straight north. Now we're putting that west on it. Wow, imagine living down there. That'd be nice. Remote, but very nice. Wow, is that housing down in here? Might actually be. So, talking about remote, maybe? No, maybe not. No, it's just beaches. But this is definitely a state for that. What do you think those people do down there for a living? Retired? Living the life, maybe working in a local town. What's local around here? Rockhampton, I guess. Still has a fair way to go. Or back down to Bundaberg. That's still a long way to go too. Maybe they make YouTube videos for a living. What are we, 65 nautical miles away? I saw the land there and I thought, oh, maybe that's it, but no, that'd be that island there. Still got a fair way to go. Okay, so we've got to go across the tip there. Alright. YAWT. That's the one we just passed there. Yeah, looking forward to VR when you come into this game as well. Move your head around. May not be as easy when you pop out of the plane like this. Might be a little bit, oh my god, vertigo, look down and whoa, floating. But looking forward to it. Well, I'm just going to let this water crossing go here and I will get back to you in a moment. I wonder if these aircraft actually have a bathroom in the back. No, it doesn't look like it. Can you imagine sitting in that? These things seem to have like a almost 4.5 hour flight range at full fuel. So imagine you needed to use the bathroom. You've definitely got to make sure you're going before you go on a full flight. So I looked at where to fly, and considering going from, where is it, Darwin to Bali, Denpasar and Bali, and that's nearly the full range. I think it was about 4.9 hours, so 4 hours 50 minutes, I guess. 4 hours 55. That's a long flight, and I've got to do it also myself. Why am I getting shimmering down there? What's happening there? Is that the graphics? Must be the sunlight shining on something, is it? Don't know, I'd say it is. But would make for a very long flight. I may have to see how my internet's going and potentially do a stream of one of those rather than record the whole thing, upload the whole thing. It might make the crossing a bit better. To edit a 4 or 5 hour flight with some potentially 16 times fast forward can take quite a while. It's the processing that's a problem. At least that's what I've found. But I may be trying some different software for the recording soon. Where are we? Oh yeah, YGLA. They're the turn points for coming in for flight, aren't they? Yeah, but we're going around. Right, move the mouse off if you want to actually press any keyboard stuff. Okay. Great Keppel Island. But how far away are we? Too far. 48 nautical miles. Maybe when we get less than 30, we'll give them a bell and request the landing. Still have the gates on, I think. I don't think I turned them off. I guess if I did have them off and I go in the wrong end, well, I wouldn't know, would I? I just got to listen to where they say which runway to land on, and potentially go down the left and all the rest. Now, we might change that, I don't know, we'll see in the future. I thought it would just be easier knowing which direction to come in from. Wow, look at these islands and stuff. So that'd be Rockhampton over there. Okay, and they've got their own breakwall for these islands. Oh yeah. No, it won't be. Hang on, Rockhampton's up here. I'll have to look that up. Gladstone. New Auckland. I didn't know there was a New Auckland. Yep, that'd be Gladstone. So we're going over Camp Island coming up here, are we? Or is that Camp Island I'm looking at now? Mouse off the VR map. Yeah, it would be. So that'd be Camp Island there. This one here, aptly named for obviously camping, or part of Curtis Island State Forest. But on Google Maps it's called Camp Island. Sit back down and I'll see. Nothing but ocean out there, and until you get to, I'd say, South America would be the first thing you come across there, unless you're lucky enough to, well, where are we? We're fairly far north. Yeah, I don't think you'll hit any of the islands. You're pretty much going to go all the way over to South America. So looking on my Google Maps as I'm flying along here, I see that we're going to Great Keppel, but there's a bunch of islands and they're called the Keppels. The Keppel Islands, right? The Keppels. So I'm guessing going to Great Keppel or Wopa Island, which I guess is an indigenous name. Yeah, Wopa. Would be because it's the biggest one there. There's a halfway reef. Well, it's halfway between where and where? Say between Humpy Island and, oh yeah, there's even a North Keppel Island. So it's an island chain. Well, there you go. which I guess is why they call it Great Keppel Island. Be the largest one. A bit like the Hawaiian Islands, where the largest island there is actually called Hawaii. So they're all called Hawaii. But there is only one island that's called Hawaii. And there's Maui, Oahu. Don't make me look up the others because I can't remember. Someone that starts with K, can't even remember that. I do have a video of flying around Hawaii. I did a lap around the island of Hawaii. I spent a couple of years there in the end of mid-90s, and so I did a bit of a tour around just to see what was there. I'm sure I had the satellite picture on. I better check that. But it was great. Went and toured some stuff. It's a long video as well, another one that's over an hour. I mean, if you're into that, have a look. I've had a few people actually check it out. Shorter videos seem to be a bit more popular because obviously you're not sitting there for an hour. But sometimes I watch them. I subscribe to a few other channels that fly Microsoft Flight Sim, and occasionally I'll sit down and have my lunch and watch a 1 hour video going over a particular area. Different people do things differently. Sometimes in the evening I just want to watch a 5-minute video, you know, especially if it's just entertaining stuff. But somewhere where you're actually going for a journey, hence the one I'm making now, I think it's actually a pretty cool thing to do. Sit back, have a look around, you get to see parts of the world you wouldn't normally, and the way that the satellite data is, it's pretty amazing. Just zoom out. Certainly the sound of the wind there. And I try to put some atmospheric music behind this, which you may have actually noticed, just to make it easier to not have to be listening to the constant wind or the drone of my voice. Although my wife tells me it's an easy voice to listen to, I don't know about that. She's biased, but I'm going to talk anyway, and if you want to listen, great. If you don't, put some music on. Either way, I'm going to show you what it's like to fly up the coast of Australia, then get through Asia, then we'll get into the Middle East, and then we go through the Mediterranean, get through Europe, hop, skip and jump our way all the way across that part of the world, and once we get to Heathrow, well, we might do a new series. Also depends on what aircraft will come out by then, because I am thinking I could even start another series of taking one of my favourite Flight Sim X aircraft, potentially a jet, and loading it up with fuel and seeing how far I can get in each jump. That being said, it can be doing Mark 1 in that, 660 something knots, and you get a long distance. What I've done in my first 2 videos, I flew from Tasmania to Sydney in less than 1 hour. So it took me 4 hours in this thing, and I was not going flat out. So it might be worth a shot. Write in a comment down below if you actually want to see something like that. Longer flights in a jet aircraft, fully fuel it up, give it a go. Also go through my videos and work out which jet you'd like to see. Preferably one that has instruments semi-working. When I say that, my Victor Handley, I think it is, interior doesn't work, so you have to use VR. I tried flying around Scotland doing that over to Ireland, and it's quite difficult when you have no instruments actually telling you which way to go. And the ones that I have on the screen, a lot of those don't actually show up on inside that particular aircraft. Alright, back to our current flight. How far away are we? We are 7 minutes, 20 nautical miles. Okay, well that was a little bit shorter than I actually was planning. Well, let's get in contact. $12 or $30? I think I'll take 12, thanks. Well, I'll be taking a full stop landing.
Yankee Golf Kilo Lima
Well, now it's
traffic
our position
Tasmania
first.
Tango Alpha 7219er miles southeast, 5,000 feet inbound to land runway 12.
Oh, look at that, puts my gaze up already. Thank you. Now, this time I need to remember to announce myself on final. Because I have gone in and forgotten to actually do that, given the position. Because some of these are small airports that don't have a control tower on it. Well, it's got a bit of a dog leg in there. Down, to the left, pulling to the right, 1, 2. And we got some other players. 38,000 feet, he's up pretty high. I say he, it could be a she. I do find that most of my audience, when I say most, more than 99%, are male. I do think that it originally said 100% of my audience was male, but I know that that's not correct because my wife also watches my videos. B78X. What's the B78X? Baron? Beachmaster? Don't remember. Well, we might just pop off our... I don't know, we might change the heading. What do you reckon? Not sure it'll actually let me do that. Guess I'm going to go that way. Not sure it's going to let me do that. Am I moving? No, it's 313. Oh, I need to put my heading, not navigation. Duh. Actually turn that off. Manually do this myself. Probably what I should be doing. Put our VFR back in. Okay, full screen. No, we don't want that. Okay, so let's close it off. Oh, that's what we do. Okay, thank you. VFR off. I'm going to slow this down a bit because I'm going to find that once we start descending, we are definitely going to gain speed. Wow, the cloud's just got in the way, hasn't it? Good to have those gates on. Now I wonder if you could actually, in real life, put, yeah, thank you altitude, I've already cancelled you. I wonder if you could put a heads-up display in a, potentially a pair of VR glasses for a pilot, or even one of those heads-up display visors that you can pull down, so that they could see, especially in a whiteout, this is your path in. I know they've got other instruments and stuff like that. Looking down at the middle one there, you can actually see what it is. How cool would that be? I don't know if it actually already exists, and I just haven't looked it up. Holy schmoly, that is a steep descent. Really? I have a feeling this might be a go-around, trying to work out where the actual runway is. That's why sometimes these gates are not necessarily the best thing. You know what? I'm sure that that's it there. Straight line, nice and short. Why have I got a gate that comes in like that and then wiggles around and then drops down to the ground? I don't think it's actually right. Let's bring it in behind. Yeah, see? That looks like my runway straight ahead there. Why is it dropping in from over there? Whoa. What happened there? I put flaps on and then my engine's finally decided, okay, I'll slow down. Which they should have already. So that guide path, is that coming from the other side, is it? It is too.
Yankee
high.
Golf Kilo Lima traffic tells
Right,
out your
okay,
Tango
now I
Alpha
see what it's
72
done.
is on final runway 30 to land.
No, I'm going around.
Yankee Golf Kilo
It's not
Lima
gonna
traffic
change
tells out
my-
your Tango Alpha 72 going around.
So it's very deceptive having those gates. I'm not necessarily sure I'm happy with those. Alright, I did go for a 1-2, didn't I? Originally, that's what I should have been doing. Well, I'm going to come in from a different angle.
Yankee Golf Kilo Lima traffic tells out your Tango Alpha 721 miles southwest, 1,000 feet inbound to land runway 12.
Yeah, see that? I should have gone around and over. It was very deceptive. Sorry, but I'm coming in from the wrong side. Should be inside, shouldn't I? Well, I mucked up that landing. Should have taken the gates and gone, yep, you got it right. Thanks, Microsoft. Sobo. Or however I pronounce that.
Yankee Golf Kilo Lima traffic tells out your Tango Alpha 72 is on final runway 12 to land.
Better get more flaps in. I was going too slow there. Let's line that back up a bit. Now we've got too much flaps, we're going to float down. Oh, those planes are parked pretty close to the end of the runway, aren't they? Looks like an uphill. Yeah. Alright, let's put some brakes on here. It is an uphill. Well, probably just as well I chose from this side. Imagine coming in from the other side. Put some flaps up. Let's see what it looks like from outside. We've got a turnaround spot up here. Kind of looks like it. I'm hugging the right hand side on a purpose here so that I can use that wider part there. Wow, look at the textures on the ground. Creaking of the plane. Poor plane. Alright. Welcome to Great Keppel Island. Sit back down in my seat, thank you. Well, I have no passengers anyway. Thanks for joining me on this flight. I will go and park myself up here. Again, Discord in the description. If you want to come and join me, make it into my videos, I'm absolutely happy with that. I'm happy to collaborate with other YouTubers as well. I love Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I'm loving this new 2020 version because, I mean, it's beautiful. Look at it. Okay, I'm going to announce I'm taxiing.
Yankee Golf Kilo Lima Traffic Tasmania Tango Alpha 72 is taxiing to runway 30.
No, I'm taxiing off. People walking around. Oh, that's better. Better than just standing around. Now we'll go park near the fuel, I guess. Since we're going to have to top up for the next part of the journey, I'm just going to park it right here, I think.
Yankee Golf Kilo Lima Traffic Tasmania Tango Alpha 72 is clear of the runway.
Alright. Okay, so avionics off. Nice battery shut down. All engine cut off, that's what I should be doing. Mixture cut, yep. We'll shut down. Thanks for flying with me. Like, subscribe and comment. It all helps. I know everybody else says it, but it does actually help. And join me in the next one. Cheers. Thank you.